Why are so many of us busting our tails in the gym after 60, only to watch our hard-earned gains just completely flatline? Look, I remember hitting that exact same wall myself. I was staring at the mirror, totally gassed, seriously wondering if my best lifting days were permanently in the rearview mirror. It's a terrifying thought, right? That creeping fear that maybe your body is just calling it quits and shutting down. But listen, what if I told you the problem isn't your age at all? What if the real culprit is sitting right there in your shaker cup, secretly sabotaging your gains every single day? In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on a massive industry secret. We're going to look at the hard science of aging muscle, and I'll reveal a forgotten, buck-20 working-class solution that literally flips the script on longevity. I'm talking about building more muscle in 14 days than you ever did with that expensive tub of whey. Hang tight, brother, because the solution is hiding in plain sight. So why is your daily whey shake actually sabotaging your gains after 60? Well, I dug deep into the clinical data from McMaster University, and man, it was a real wake-up call for me. Turns out our aging biology is actively fighting the fast-acting nature of whey protein. Think of it like pouring high-octane rocket fuel into a vintage diesel engine. It just doesn't process right, you know? The machinery operates at a fundamentally different rate than it did when we were in our 20s. $20 billion. Yep, $20 billion, that is the massive size of the whey protein industry today. And they built this giant empire on one sweeping promise, that whey is the absolute best way to build muscle at any age. It's a classic us versus them setup. You've got this giant marketing machine pushing expensive dairy byproducts, literally leftovers from making cheese, while completely bearing the dirt cheap, bug-20 working class staples that are actually perfectly engineered for our biology. They just don't want us older guys catching on. Okay, let's dive into this. There is a stark difference between 20-year-old biology and 60-year-old biology. See, when you're a young buck, your muscle tissue activates mTOR, that's the cellular signal for muscle growth, super fast. Whey creates this huge, rapid spike in amino acids. Boom, young muscles grab it and you grow. But after 60, our synthesis cycle is blunted. It's way slower. That fast spike from whey literally overshoots our anabolic window. The amino acids enter the bloodstream and just clear out before our aging muscles can even finish assembling them. Crazy, right? To get a little technical for just a second, the scientific term for this process is leucine kinetics. That basically just means the rate and duration that amino acids enter your bloodstream to trigger repair. In plain English, building muscle after 60 is all about timing, man. If the timing is off, you're just flushing your hard-earned cash down the drain. Which brings us perfectly to the first forgotten dirt-cheap powder that actually matches our steady Eddie engines. All right, powder number 1, the timing fix. Pea protein isolate. So, long before the dairy lobbies started pushing leftover whey, working-class guys doing serious manual labor in the early 20th century relied on ground, dried, yellow split peas. It wasn't fancy, it had no slick packaging, it just flat out worked. Because it digests slower, it's the ultimate timing fix for the mature athlete. And we have the heavy-hitting clinical receipts to back it up. A massive randomized trial published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition found that in men over 60, pea protein produced marginally superior lean mass retention compared to whey. This isn't some granola crunching fad. Because of that slower amino acid release profile we just talked about, it maps perfectly onto an older guy's extended anabolic window. It drips the fuel exactly when your engine is ready to burn it. Plus, pea protein packs a massive hidden punch. It consists of roughly 9% arginine. Now, arginine is the direct precursor to nitric oxide in your vascular tissue. Think of it like a major highway expansion project for your aging blood vessels. It dilates those tiny vessels, ensuring that blood and the protein it carries gets delivered right to the active muscle within 30 minutes post-workout. Whey just does not match that kind of vascular pump. Moving on to powder number 2, fighting inflammaging, hemp protein. Hemp was an old-school staple for European farm laborers. They pressed hemp seeds for oil and ate the protein-dense meal left behind to sustain grueling physical days on the homestead. And modern science shows it fixes a totally invisible roadblock that's actively robbing you of your gains. It's called inflammaging. Honestly, this stuff is terrifying. Inflammaging is this silent, chronic cellular inflammation that intercepts and totally suppresses your anabolic muscle-building signals. You can bust your tail in the gym, eat a mountain of protein, get enough sleep, and still see absolutely zero results, all because this silent inflammation is literally blocking the signal to build muscle. It's exactly like trying to make an urgent phone call when you have zero cell service. So how does hemp fix this? Well, hemp is packed with 2 powerhouse compounds, adestin and GLA. Adestin is a protein uniquely recognized by human plasma, meaning it sneaks right past our declining digestive enzymes for maximum absorption. But the real magic is the GLA, gamma-linolenic acid. This specific omega-6 acts like a cellular fire extinguisher. It actively suppresses that chronic inflammation, clearing the static so your muscle-building signals can finally get through again. Next up, powder number 3, the connective sealing, hydrolyzed collagen peptides. Think about the rugged, working-class guys from the 1930s who practically lived on bone broth and slow-cooked meats. They kept insane physical strength and functional capacity well into their late 60s doing back-breaking labor because they were naturally feeding their connective tissue. Here is a brutally scary stat to show why that matters. After age 60, your connective tissue structurally erodes by 1% to 2% every single year. Your muscles might be willing and totally fired up, but if your tendons and ligaments are eroding, your actual force production is totally capped out. It's like putting a massive V8 engine in a truck with a rusted-out chassis. The frame just can't handle the torque without snapping. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the ultimate insider secret to making collagen actually work. See, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirmed that collagen requires vitamin C as a cofactor. If you don't have vitamin C present in your blood, those collagen peptides are practically useless. They just pass right through. You need to take your hydrolyzed collagen 60 minutes pre-workout specifically with vitamin C to chemically cross-link those fibers and rebuild that tendon stiffness. All right, the final piece of the puzzle. Powder number 4, the ultimate recovery, moringa powder. Guys, this is a centuries-old subtropical staple. And get this, the U.S. Army Research Institute actually studied this stuff extensively in the 1990s for its massive effects on physical performance under stress. So why don't you see it on store shelves? Because the supplement industry buried it. They couldn't isolate a natural leaf into a proprietary blend to patent it, so they just completely ignored the whole shebang. But moringa is absolute premium fuel for older mitochondria. It's loaded with isocyanates that activate the NRF2 pathway, literally reactivating your body's own antioxidant systems instead of relying on weak outside sources. It has zeatin, which directly stimulates cellular repair and aging tissue, and it packs 3 times the iron of spinach. So many older guys suffer from underdiagnosed iron deficits that cause early fatigue and ruin workouts. Moringa fixes that right at the root. But listen to me, pay very close attention to this number, 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Consider this a stern, practical warning. You must never, ever cook or mix moringa in liquid above 160 degrees. If you drop it in boiling water, you will completely destroy those vital signaling isothiocyanates. Always use warm or cold water, never hot. You gotta keep those precious compounds alive so they can actually do the work. Okay, section 5, building your new routine. So, the crucial point is, how do we actually put this all together? We've talked about the hard science, now let's pivot to the hope and the actual application. I've put together a personal blueprint for stacking these exact powders daily. Your biology after 60 isn't broken, my friends, not at all. We were just sold the completely wrong tools by marketing guys in their 20s who have absolutely no idea how an aging body actually operates. Here is your clinical cheat sheet. We've got our 4 $1.20 powerhouses. Pea protein gives us the perfect amino acid timing. Hemp brings the edestin and GLA to crush that silent inflammation. Collagen peptides rebuild the structural integrity of your connective tissue sealing. And moringa acts as the ultimate cellular recovery and iron-boosting agent. This is your biological arsenal, and it costs absolute pocket change compared to premium whey. Here is your clear, actionable blueprint for aesthetic and functional transformation. And you can grab these from literally any local health food store today. Step 1. In the morning, mix a serving of hemp and a teaspoon of moringa into your breakfast routine to kickstart recovery and kill that inflammation. Step 2. 60 minutes pre-workout, take your hydrolyzed collagen with a hit of vitamin C to prep those tendons for heavy load. Step 3. Within 30 minutes post-workout, hit your muscles with pea protein and a little more hemp to perfectly match that slower, extended anabolic window we talked about. I want to leave you with a provocative question. Which biological mismatch will you fix first to take your strength back? Are you going to fix the timing, the inflammation, or the connective tissue? It is time to ditch the shiny marketing, ditch the way that's stalling your gains, and take absolute control of your longevity. Hit the comments below and let me know which powder you're grabbing this week. Keep moving, stay strong, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.